You ready for these Kitchen Knives ID 2.0s?
Because I gotta tell you, I'm pretty stoked about these knives, and I really appreciate everyone's patience while I got my shop set up on Instagram.
So I had every intention of posting this video last week, but unfortunately there was a family emergency that we had to get to last week. And so hence we're just now posting this video right now. And I apologize for the delay, and I really appreciate you guys understanding and for your patience.
So in the original video, many of you guys commented that you had issues getting in touch with Kitchen Knives ID to try to pick up one of these knives. So I decided to stock a couple of these to try to help out with the logistics issues. First, let's go ahead and talk about how the Kitchen Knives ID 2.0 is different and, in my opinion, an improvement in comparison to this original Kitchen Knives ID Gyuto. So the first thing you'll notice between these two knives is that the 2.0 has a completely revamped and updated profile. This new profile is more of a traditional Japanese Gyuto profile. It has a much flatter belly and a less pronounced belly on the knife. In comparison to the original one, which has a more pronounced belly and less of a flat spot in comparison. And I gotta tell you, this new traditional profile, I am in love with. Like, this knife looks so freaking nice, and it feels so good in the hands. Now, the next big thing to me is the updated grind of these knives. This is the original Gyuto grind, which has more of a workhorse grind. It's not overly thick, but also not overly thin. So it has more of a workhorse feel to it. But man, I gotta tell you, check out this new grind here. This is the new 2.0 grind, and it is so thin. And when I first saw this grind, I gotta tell you, I nearly jumped out of my seat because I tried to talk to them before to see if they can get the knives thinner, and once they were able to do it, I gotta tell you, I jumped on it because, man, that is so nice and thin.
Okay, so this is editing Raph here. One thing I forgot to mention in the initial video when we filmed is how thin these knives are. So the 240 Gyutos, when they first introduced it on their social media, Kitchen Knives ID introduced it to their social media, it was a new grind. It was much thinner than the workhorse version. But when these knives got here, they're even thinner than what they showed in the pictures, which is not exactly what I asked for, but I'm not complaining about a thin knife, but they are on the thinner side. So whenever you're cutting with them, just make sure you're not cutting anything hard, any bone or things like that. Treat them like a Japanese laser knife. So they're thin, they're very high in Rockwell hardness, and they tend to be on the chippy side if you're not careful with them. So make sure your cutting technique is very on point. And you know, just like any other knives, don't cut frozen food, don't cut bone, don't try to do crazy stuff like that, like you crazy kids are doing. So I just want to mention that before you guys try to pick one of these up, because I don't want you guys to be surprised at how thin these knives are.
Now, the next thing you probably can't tell by appearance is that although this new Kitchen Knives ID 2.0 is a little bit taller, this knife is so much lighter in the hands and feels so much more nimble in comparison to the old original Gyuto. It's so much lighter in the hands.
And second thing I want to mention is that I did already prep with these knives, and I gotta tell you, these new 240s just blows through the onion. I mean, they're so nice and thin that they're just gliding through onion like butter. Horizontal cut, everything like that. I mean, it's just going through the onion like it's not even there. So it's really, really nice and thin, like a very laserish knife. I hate using that word because it just gets thrown around a lot, and I know there's very particular specs that go along with the term laser, but it's just a very, very thin knife that just glides right through the food with no wedging whatsoever.
So what makes the ones that I carry a little bit more special in comparison to the ones that you can get direct from Kitchen Knives ID or other distributors is that all of these knives are made to my own personal specifications. Mainly, all of these 240 Gyutos are a little bit taller in comparison to the ones that you can get direct from Kitchen Knives ID and other distributors. And also, I handpicked all of these handle materials myself. The next thing that is probably not a huge deal, but all of these handles are also hand finished by none other than yours truly, myself. All of these handles actually came pretty much bare wood, so I decided to finish all of these handles myself. I actually polished and oiled every single one of these handles myself. So hopefully you guys are satisfied with this handle that I'm shipping out to you guys if you guys decide to order one of these. As of right now, I only have a small amount of these knives in stock just to test out the waters, and if all goes well, my next order with them will definitely be a lot larger. Just to kind of show you guys what finish I have for the 240s, I have some bunkas and a couple of 𝐒𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿, and there are two Nakiris that I'm not showing right now. So for the 240s, I have this 𝐒𝐔𝐏𝐏 finish, which is the hammered finish, which I like a lot. This one has the full rosewood handle. This is actually my personal knife. The other 240 finish is the 𝐒𝐄𝐋𝐏 finish, which is this blacksmith finish. Looks really nice. This one has the full 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗪 handle on it. This is actually my best friend's knife. He already claimed it. So these two knives are not available for sale. Here are the bunkas that I have for sale. One of them, or a few of them, comes with the 𝐒𝐔𝐏 finish, which is like this pear skin finish. And then they also have the 𝐒𝐔𝐏𝐏 finish, which is this hammered finish. This one's actually sold as well. And I have a couple of the 𝐻onsukes, which is the chicken knives or boning knives. These are all single beveled. This one, it has the 𝐒𝐔𝐏 finish. I also have two of them in the 𝐒𝐄𝐋𝐏 finish as well. This one has the full rosewood handle. And the two Nakiris that I carry are both 𝐒𝐔𝐏 finishes as well. So this is what you came for. Where can you get these knives? So all of the available knives that I have for sale are posted on my new Instagram store called 𝐒𝐔𝐏. The handle of the store is at 𝐒𝐔𝐏.shop. As of right now, all the knives that are sold there are first come, first serve, so comment to claim your knife. Unfortunately, right now, all of the knives are only sold within the US and shipped within the US. Being a small shop that's just starting out, I'm just testing the water, so it's just limited to US sales only. So I apologize for those of you guys who are wanting to order that are outside of the US. So like I said, comment on the knife to claim it, and then we'll finish the transaction through DMs. Now lastly, I want to say a huge thank you to you guys. I really appreciate the overwhelming support that I got from you guys, from the comments that I got from the last video. It truly means so much to me, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. And this wraps up our intro to the kitchenknives.id 2.0 240mm Gyuto, and I hope you guys like this video. If you guys do like this video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It will mean the world to me. Help me support all of this madness, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.